You want to be living a different life than the one that you have now. You want more money in the bank. You want a beautiful relationship. Maybe you want children. Maybe you want a bigger house, whatever it is. If you want a different reality, then you cannot stay the same version of you right now that got you to exactly where you are right now and still experience that reality. It's not ever going to happen. But there is a parallel reality. And so, somewhere on another parallel reality, there is a version of you living the life that you want because everything that you desire, it's already done, it's already been created. So, your job is not actually to um, manifest it or attract it. Your job is actually to align with who you have been designed to be. So, I want to help you today just really anchor in that self concept, that identity that is aligning with that life that you want to live. It's that old law that you might have heard, as within, so without. And so it really is starting here. Reality is not separate from you. It's actually what you are perceiving and it's what you are creating based on your self concept, how you see yourself, so your identity. And then based on your identity, the beliefs that you have, based on the beliefs you have, the emotions that you are constantly experiencing. So your dominant state of being. And then that is going to dictate the actions that you take or don't take. So, this video is just going to break down a very simple process where you can actually align and just see yourself as who you have been seeing yourself as, but with awareness so that you can actually shift into the version of you that you're meant to be, or that you not meant to be, but that you desire to be. And so, first of all, I want you to just actually think about you. The version of you that got you to where you are right now is not going to be the same one that gets you to this life that you want to be living. So, for example, if you are a person who makes $5,000 a month in your business, you do not have the same identity. You don't see yourself as the same as the version of you who actually makes $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month or $500,000, whatever it is. Okay. There's a different identity, there is a different self concept. And so, as I said, it starts within and how you are seeing yourself and experiencing yourself. And so, if you were actually to just take a picture of yourself, I love doing this. So, this is one of the things that I just did in my membership. Where I actually walked people through this process. There are about 6 steps, but I'm going to give you the very simple meat and potatoes of it because I really want you to actually get this and have this shift because it's through awareness and self awareness that you can actually see who you've been and you can start to let go of the parts of you that can no longer go forward into this new life that you're creating, into this identity, this version of you who is living the most incredible life. Okay. So, first of all, I want you to maybe just pull up, get your phone and pull up a picture of yourself currently. And as you look at this version of you, or you can, in my when I did the full lesson, I had you get a notebook. So if you have a notebook or you have a pen and paper handy, you could even just draw a little picture of yourself, a little stick figure, and just have a look at this version of you. And when you see yourself, I want you to notice what are the characteristics of that version of you. Truly, what are the characteristics? And when I say characteristics, I'm talking about what are the things that you like about yourself, but you don't, or don't like about yourself, but just that are your characteristics. Maybe you're a procrastinator. Maybe you're really friendly and happy all the time. Maybe you're a people pleaser. Maybe you are somebody who wants to help other people all the time. What are the characteristics, good and bad, or that you see as good and bad? And maybe write them down. Okay. What are the things that make you you? Okay. So the characteristics that are you, that you see as this version of you right here, right now. Now, I want you also to look at what are the habits that this version of you has right here and now. So if you have a habit of procrastinating, you have a habit of negative thinking, you have a habit of, um, maybe doing some things that aren't that great for you, that aren't moving your life forward. Or you have habits that are good habits. Maybe you have a habit of waking up in the morning and not reaching for your phone and meditating. Maybe you have some really great habits too. So I want you to look at the habits that you have, and then I also want you to look at your two more things. I want you to look at what are the dominant thoughts that you are constantly having over and over. They say that the average person has about 50 to 70,000 thoughts per day, that 90% of those thoughts are the same ones over and over. And actually, I think it's like 90% of those thoughts are actually not good. And I mean not good in a way where it's mostly you're worrying, or you're wondering how you're going to do something, or you're in self-doubt, or you're in fear, or you're in stress. And most of us out there can relate with that, because if you were to actually have a check-in with yourself throughout the day, which is one of the things that I get my clients to do, is to literally set an alarm and check in with yourself and just notice, what's my dominant state of being? What am I thinking about right now? What are my dominant thoughts? Because that's the only way. This isn't about fixing it or changing it, but it's the only way that you're really going to have awareness. And when you have awareness, you actually can choose differently. Okay. So, what are the dominant thoughts? What are the things that you think about the most? And then the other piece is, what is your dominant state of being? What are you mostly feeling? Like, are you feeling stressed out? Are you feeling angry a lot? Are you feeling sad a lot? Are you feeling happy a lot? Are you feeling free? Are you feeling like, what is your dominant state of being? And again, I'm going to just tell you, I saw Dr. Joe Dispenza talking one time, and he said that 87% of the time, most of the people on this planet, 87% of the time, like 90% of the people, 87% of the time are in survival. And so, and it becomes familiar. So you don't even know you're in survival unless you stop and you have a level of awareness. Okay. When you notice what your dominant state of being is, then you're going to be able to shift it. Okay. And so it's through these parts of you that when you see these parts of you and you actually write it down and you look at it, that you can really kind of get a picture of, okay, I got a lot of stuff going on here that isn't actually going to help me get to this version. So who am I as, and I'm just using this as an example, but if I were $100,000 a month CEO and that was me, then who would this version of me be right now? Or looking at this, okay, first of all, would all of these things be able to carry me forward into that version of me? There are going to be certain things that you know that you have to leave behind. They are not serving you. And there are going to be certain things that you're going to look at, and you're going to also now ask this question, where did I get that from? And just noticing, where did you get that from? So when you're looking at certain beliefs and behaviors, you're going to go into that. Again, I have a process where we go very deep into that. And in future videos, I probably will share that with you. But right now, for the sake of keeping things simple and time, I want you to just kind of notice, where did I get that from? And this isn't about blame at all, because as soon as you start blaming again, you're not taking radical responsibility for who you are and what you are creating, then you're just completely disconnected, right? As within, so without. So I want you to really just have that awareness Okay. We're not putting it on anybody else. We're not bypassing. We're not saying it's because of this. We're not blaming our past lives. We're not blaming anybody. We're not blaming. We're just noticing. And we're just getting curious about, where did I pick that up? Now, once you've got an idea of where you picked that up, I also want to ask you to have a look at, what are the things that you notice over here that you're doing or being that are actually draining you and pulling you away from what it is that you truly desire. And just notice, what are the things that are draining you, taking away your power, draining your energy. Just write those things down. It could be two, three, four, five things. Write those things down. And now I also want you to notice that, based on the things that are draining you, what are the things that you know would bring you energy, that would give you life, that would light you up? What are the things that you could be doing instead or being instead that would light you up? And so write those down too. Okay. And now, once you've done that, I want you to look at this version of you that has the $50,000 or $100,000 a month business. You're this incredible CEO, and you're doing amazing things for your clients. You're making huge impact. You're living this incredible life. You have a life of freedom, and it's just growing and getting better and better all the time. So when you look at that version of you, and again, you go through that first exercise you did with the current version of you, I want you to look at, what are their characteristics? What are their habits? What is their dominant thought process throughout the day? How do they make decisions? And do they make decisions? Do you find yourself not making decisions? Because that's another big thing. When you notice yourself not deciding, not deciding is actually deciding. Okay. So, how does this person think? How do they make decisions? Um, Look at that, and then look at their dominant state of being. What is their dominant state of being? Are they calm? Are they, um, I find that when you're in more of a calm state, you can be more emotionally um, responsive versus reactive to things that show up in your life. You have much less triggers, but that's also because you did the shadow work, which again, I will be talking about. And I will be sharing some incredible videos on how to actually remove these triggers that you carry as a charge in your body. But I want you to know that once you have awareness, that's a big win that you have. Okay. So when you are looking at that version of you that is living this life, you have to notice, over here, these are the things that got you here. Okay. These are the things that are holding you into that next level of being, into that higher level of potential. Okay. And so I want you to then consciously notice, if this version of you does certain things, has certain habits, certain behaviors, certain characteristics, then I want you to notice them so that you can start right now in this moment embodying that. So if this higher level version of you likes to go to bed at night early and get a really good sleep and values their rest, um, start doing that. Start being that version, because the more you start to do this, the more you will find that your reality will start to show up differently. Okay. So if this version of you gets up in the morning at a certain time every day and meditates and connects to their higher power, and really just decides what they, or asks themselves, what do I want to experience today? What would I love today? If that version of you has that habit of doing that, then start doing that. If this version of you, it has a characteristic that they're very punctual, that they don't procrastinate, that they get shit done, then what are some of the things that you can do to start embodying that right now? Okay. So this is actually going to help you shift and align with a version of you in a parallel universe, in a parallel timeline, in a parallel reality. And like I said, it's already done. Everything that you want is already been created. You don't have to create it. You don't have to go get it. You don't have to attract it. You must align yourself to that version of you that you were created to be. And that is it. So, in the next video, I'm going to go deeper and share with you how you can actually remove some of the things that are blocking you that are going to help you. So, get out of that survival and get out of the old burden and the heaviness that you've been carrying and really step into a sense of lightness and freedom and peace. And then when you start creating from that place, you can bend reality. So we'll be talking about that soon. I'll see you in the next video.